News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
Karen, we begin in Washington, where President Donald Trump has carried out an annual tradition. The president sat down for a wide-ranging interview ahead of the Super Bowl with NBC News. The discussion covered an array of topics, including the situation in Minneapolis after the deaths of 2 Americans by federal agents. President Trump says immigration enforcement in the city needs a softer touch.
Look, I'm not happy with the 2 incidents. It's not, it's both of them, not one or the other. He was not an angel, and she was not an angel. You look at some tapes from back, but still, I'm not happy with what happened there. Nobody could be happy, and ICE wasn't happy either.
President Trump says he personally decided to pull 700 agents from Minnesota yesterday. That still leaves about 2,000 federal agents in the Twin Cities area. A Quinnipiac University poll shows 63% of voters disapprove of the way ICE is enforcing immigration laws, though 77% of Republicans approve. 61% think the Trump administration has not given an honest account of Alex Pretty's shooting.
Nathan, President Trump also discussed geopolitics in the NBC News interview. The president had a message for Iran's supreme leader ahead of indirect talks with the country tomorrow.
I would say he should be very worried, yeah, he should be. As you know, they're negotiating with us.
And President Trump has threatened military action against Iran if it does not reach a deal on its nuclear program. The White House says both sides still plan to meet in Oman tomorrow. President Trump also touched on his hour-long call yesterday with Chinese President Xi Jinping. He said they covered a lot of topics and that it's important that both leaders have a good relationship.
And Karen, the Federal Reserve also came up in President Trump's interview. NBC's Tom Lamas asked if interest rate policy weighed on the president's decision to replace Chair Jay Powell with former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh.
I mean, if he came in and said, I want to raise him,
if he said that, he wouldn't have gotten the job.
He would not have gotten the job, no.
President Trump says he believes the Fed is an independent body in theory, but he also says he's a smart guy whose predictions on the economy should be considered. Now the latest on the missing mother of NBC Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. She sent a public message to her mother's kidnapper saying her family is ready to talk, but wants proof that she's alive.
We live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy, was last seen Saturday around 9:45 p.m. when she was dropped off at her home in Arizona by family after dinner.
Nathan, we turn to the markets now, and there's been a momentary pause to the global tech sell-off. NASDAQ futures are higher after the index erased its gains for the year over the past 2 sessions. Traders are weighing whether the flight from tech has been excessive amid concerns over disruption from artificial intelligence, lofty valuations, and vast capital outlays. This morning, shares of Alphabet are down more than 2.5%. The Google parent did top quarterly revenue estimates, but says capital spending on AI will be significantly higher than anticipated. CEO Sundar Pichai says the money will deliver a return on investment.
Revenue from AI solutions built by our partners increased nearly 300% year over year, and commitments from our top 15 software partners grew more than 16x year over year.
And Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai says capital expenditure could come close to $185 billion this year, compared with the almost $120 billion analysts had expected.
Well, sticking with company news, Karen, shares of Qualcomm and ARM are both tumbling in early trading. The semiconductor company signaled a shortage of memory chips will crimp growth in the electronics industry. Right now, shares of Qualcomm are down 10.5%. ARM is lower by more than 7%.
Nathan, the big tech earnings continue today with Amazon reporting after the bell, and we get a preview with Bloomberg's Tom Busby.
Amazon.com is expected to show steady 21% revenue growth in its Amazon Web Services cloud computing division amid heavy spending on artificial intelligence. As for its bread and butter e-commerce unit, analysts expect the company benefited from resilient holiday spending despite a 35-day-long government shutdown and a slump in consumer confidence. Bloomberg consensus calls for revenue of $211.49 billion on earnings per share of $1.96. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, Tom, thank you. All is not calm in markets this morning. Outside of tech, precious metals are in focus once again. Let's get the very latest from Bloomberg's John Tucker. John, good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. Yes, silver, let's start there. That plummeted as much as 17% as the commodity is struggling to find a floor following this historic rout. It's nicknamed the devil's metal for a reason, Nathan. Its price is volatile, and it's led to financial ruin for more than one speculator. After a record-breaking rally that appeared to run too far too fast, the metal has retreated by more than a third from its all-time high, January 29th. Gold has fallen below $4,900 an ounce. The precious metals soared last month in a rally underpinned by speculative momentum, geopolitical upheaval, and concerns about the Fed's independence. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.